Got a little booktube. I've got a little mail. Who's up for some mail? I've got a pretty good little pile of packages here, including a couple of boxes. So let's see what we have. The first one is probably an advanced copy. So it is an advanced copy. What on earth is this? Okay. All right. This comes out in February, just a week before Valentine's Day. This is by Clement Knox, and it is called Seduction, A History from the Enlightenment to the Present. Moving from the Garden of Eden to the carnivals of 18th century Venice, and from the bawdy world of Georgian London to the saloons and speakeasies of the Jazz Age. This is all about seduction. Okay. All right. Okay, great. This comes out in February. So I won't be getting to it yet, but it's good to know that there'll be some playful stuff in the future, in the new year. Let's see what this next one is. Feels like more than one book put in a package. Let's see. The package is a little bit on the rickety side too. Could this be from one of you? Oh, no. This is, okay, all right. This isn't from one of you. This is from my editor at the Martha's Vineyard Gazette. The Martha's Vineyard is, for those of you who don't know, you're up on your American geography. It's a beautiful island off the coast of Massachusetts. It is a favorite vacation destination and has multi-mega million-dollar homes. It's going to be in the news for a little while. The tertiary string of the news below the federal crimes that are being committed by the U.S. president. Once you get down into page 6 or 7, there'll be ongoing news items about former President Barack Obama and his wife are buying a big mega mansion on the vineyard because they went there and fell in love with it. But I, through a curious twist of fate, I am the book reviewer for the Martha's Vineyard Gazette. Which is a legendary institution in its own right, as all local newspapers are. They all accumulate their own legends. And I never in a million years I knew one of the founding members of that legend and his dog. I smooched with his dog many times. I've been on every inch, every blade of grass, every tree, every hill, every street, every cellar, every attic, every living room of the vineyard. I've been there many times. And I used to talk with a former editor of the Martha's Vineyard Gazette quite a bit when I was there. I admit now, I in retrospect, I use those conversations as an excuse to smooch with his dog. But he often raised the possibility of me writing book reviews for the Gazette. And I just always politely declined, and now I am doing that. And these are my next 2 Vineyard Gazette books, I guess. So we have, this is a book called Spies by Mark Favreau. Kind of a snazzily designed thing. There won't be any pub sheets with the... Oh, no, it does have a pub sheet. Okay, so this came out in October. But that's okay. That's okay. Let's see here. This is a thrilling account of the Cold War spies and spycraft that changed the course of history. The Cold War spanned 5 decades as America and the USSR engaged in a battle of ideologies with global ramifications. Rife with intrigue and filled with fascinating historical figures whose actions shine light on both past and present, this timely work of narrative nonfiction explores the turbulence of the Cold War through the lenses of the men and women who waged it behind closed doors. So this is nonfiction about spycraft during the Cold War. Good Lord, could not be better up my alley. That is great. And then this next one is by Susan Wilson. It is a novel, and it is called The Dog I Loved. Also up Steve's alley. So this is, I imagine, also... Yeah, no, this is a mid-November date. This actually hasn't come out yet. I should get on this right away. That's great. And this is a novel about, dogs. About a character who loves a dog after spending years in prison for a crime she didn't intend to commit. Don't they all? Rose Collins is suddenly free. Someone who knows about the good work she has done, training therapy dogs while serving time, has arranged for her early release. This mysterious benefactor has even set her up with a job in a coastal Massachusetts community of Gloucester, on the edge of Dogtown, a place of legend and, for the first time since Rosie's world began crashing down, hope. Okay, but Gloucester has its own newspaper. What does she must spend time on the vineyard. Yeah, she loves it. The author lives on the vineyard. Okay. All right, great. So 2 Martha's Vineyard books. That's great. Always great. I very much like having all my various work dockets nice and busily full. That's a very nice feeling. Ask any freelancer. If you happen to be unlucky enough to know a freelancer, a freelance writer, ask them and they will agree. It's nice when the dockets are full. Every once in a while you'll get, a twittery neurotic who doesn't like deadlines because it makes them nervous. But I thrive on them myself. What have we got here? Oh, okay. All right, this is a paperback release. Boy, I think is this fast? Did this happen fast, or am I remembering this wrong? This is by Stephen Walsh. It comes out in December in paperback. This is Debussy, A Painter in Sound. We've seen this. The hardcover edition looked much nicer. We've gone back to faded sepia tone photograph. This is a biography of Claude Debussy that I reviewed. I'm pretty sure I reviewed this. I'm not blurbed anywhere on it. I don't think. No, I'm not blurbed anywhere on it. But it has lots of blurbs. I remember it got lots of press. So this is a paperback release. I don't know if I still have the hardcover. So I'm glad to have the paperback. Great. All right. We're doing fine so far. This is not a bad mail haul. We're not even at the boxes yet. The bean is happily chewing on these packages on the floor. Let's see what this next one is. A tiny little thing. Oh, it's a novel. It's a novel. Okay. This comes out in February. This is by Amina Kane. And it is a ghostly feminist fable. This is called Indelicacy. Tiny little thing. Novella. Let's see here. In a strangely ageless world, somewhere between Emily Dickinson and David Lynch, a cleaning woman at a museum of art nurtures aspirations to do more than simply dust the paintings around her. She dreams of having the liberty to explore them in writing, and so must find a way to win herself the time and security to use her mind. She escapes her lot by marrying a rich man whose only expectation is that she enjoy her new life. She takes pleasure in her beautiful clothing, their trips to the ballet, the leisure time she now has to develop her art, but having gained a house, high society, and a maid, she finds that she is no less constrained. Not only has she taken up different forms of gendered labor, it's social and erotic, sorry. I knew that was coming, that's all. I just wondered how long we'd have to wait. So a man marries her and freely, happily, generously gives her everything that she wanted. Time, money, space, most especially freedom to, as we're told, pursue her art. And it's still not enough. It's still engendered labor. She is now, however, passively forcing other women to clean up after her. So she's now a tool of the patriarchy. She could fire her maid. Or she could hire her maid and say, what I want you to do is read in the kitchen all day long. You don't have to work. Okay, well, we shall... It's still not good enough. It will never be good enough. Never. If she fires her maid, then she has served up helpless meat to the patriarchy. Man comes along and gives her everything she wanted, and it's not good enough. Okay. All right, well, this goes out in February. I imagine it'll get reviewed everywhere. I won't think about it until then. So now we're on to the boxes. There's a smaller box and a bigger box, but the bigger box is fairly light. In fact, they both are. So I don't imagine that we're going to have any Prince Metternich biographies in these. Let's see what this first one is. All right. Okay, we saw this. No, I don't think we did. Maybe we did. This is by Tom Chaffin. This is the finished copy. It comes out in late November. Poor book. Coming out in late November, a work of history. It'll be in bookstores in time for Christmas, I guess. That matters. This is Revolutionary Brothers. It's about Thomas Jefferson and the Marquis de Lafayette and the relationship that they had. They've long been fascinating figures in American history. Less well known are the friendship and collaboration between the two. And this book aims to rectify that. Nice, hefty work of Revolutionary era history just in time for December. So I don't know what kind of coverage it will get. I will review it. Or I will send it winging on its way to my crack history shelf reviewer, and she will review it. One way or another, we will not ignore it at open letters. And then we have this final box. These are getting Frida's intense attention. but that's all. They get her intense attention, and then when I drop them down on the floor so that they're within range of her, then she stares at them and pokes around at them, but then she stops. So in other words, the bean is phoning it in this morning. So, what is this next one? Also a finished copy. Oh, great. Okay, great. Extra great, too, because my advanced copy is falling apart. Literally, pages tufting out of it, which is never good. You never want that. This comes out at the end of November. This is Alan Galloway's book, Walter Raleigh, Architect of Empire. It's a big new biography of Raleigh that looks at him specifically through his colony and plantation building efforts on behalf of first Queen Elizabeth and then King James. I have my advanced copy. It's right over there on the couch. I have read it. It is falling apart. I have been studying this book in great detail, and the reason is the usual one. I am commissioned to review it. So I will be reviewing this for the Christian Science Monitor, hopefully sometime soon. Hopefully my review will be running sometime soon. And we will see what we make of Walter Raleigh as an architect of empire. There are all sorts of arguments. The author talk about phoning in. The author very much does not phone in this book. This is a strongly and carefully argued historical reconstruction of one of history's greatest losers. So I again only have 800 words. That feels very punitive when I'm dealing with a subject on which I could go on for 8,000 words, but I will make do. So that's great. This turned out to be not a bad mail haul at all, and lots of commissioned work in it, which is great. So we have Walter Raleigh, Architect of Empire. We have Revolutionary Brothers, about Thomas Jefferson and the Marquis de Lafayette. We have, let's see here, Seduction by Clement Knox, about me and Deb. Then we have The Dog I Loved and Spies, 2 Vineyard Gazette books. Those will be appearing in short order in your subscription to Martha's Vineyard Gazette. And Debussy, A Painter in Sound, an ugly trade paperback of a very pretty hardcover biography of Debussy that was quite good. And Indelicacy by Amina Kane. So there you go. Lots of nonfiction, some fiction, a couple of 2020 books, and most importantly, paid work for Steve to keep the dog food flowing. So that's it. That is the mail. I might have more mail today. If so, I will make sure to open it on camera. So I'm going to wrap this up. But I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.